Okay, so my partner at the time, she was like, I'm pregnant. And I was like, oh, okay. Wow.
New plans.
That's gonna change a lot.
Yeah.
And she's like, do you need time to think about this? I was like, yeah, that would be awesome. Can you give me like a day to just like wrap my head around what this means? She's like, okay. So she went to the North Shore and left me at home to just be in my thoughts. And this one reoccurring question was like, well, one day this child's gonna ask you where we come from and what are you gonna tell it? And so I started to write down to my future child all the things that were happening in the Big Bang. And that came out as a story. Oh, that's a thing. That's something. Right. I'm onto something. Right. So I was like, okay, what comes next? Maybe each star was like a discotheque.
Helium's hanging out, hydrogen.
Yeah, where everybody's dancing in different like configurations of protons.
Nitrogen's got moves, but they're shy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, you go first, helium. You go first, right?
Is this still the day of the North Shore?
So the next day, right, they're like, so did you think about the baby? He's like, well, I have a poem.
That's what I'm like.
He's like, oh, right. One more day.
Lokahi Backstage.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. Welcome to Lokahi Backstage. I'm super excited today.
Yeah.
We get to interview Kealoha.
Yes.
And actually, this is we are on site in beautiful Hawaii Kai.
Ooh, HK.
Are you Ryan or Hawaiian Ryan?
I can be either.
You're
Hawaiian
Ryan?
What's easier for you?
I don't know. I don't care.
Engineers are very efficient, so let's go with Ryan.
I love us both. Right.
Both of us born and raised Hawaii Kai. So
Yes.
this is like our stomping ground. Where are you from?
I am.
All right, close enough.
No, not
It's kind of
really.
like
No.
it's like generic brand Hawaii Kai.
No, it's not even close to
Western
Hawaii
family?
Kai. No.
Okay.
This Hawaii Kai wannabe. How about that? How about that? But still, cool
Yeah,
place.
so I thought we'd pick this place. It's beautiful, you know.
It is.
And you know.
I like the wind too.
Yeah, and Kealoha literally can point to his house from over here.
Yeah, I grew up right between Cocoa Head Crater and Cocoa Head.
Tough life. Tough life.
It's a tough life. in the streets of Mauna Lua.
Yeah. The tough streets with like, you know, Schwinn bicycles.
Yeah, totally.
For all of those who don't know this is one of the nicest neighborhoods in Hawaii, on Oahu, for sure. So that's why we're laughing.
But when we grew up, it wasn't like that. My dad bought the house in Kalama Valley, was pig farms before that.
Really?
And then they just got like, the house was like, I don't know, like 20, 30 grand. Like the first house, Kalama Valley.
Gosh, I wish.
And then now it's got to be over $1 million,
Stupid.
right? It's just crazy.
So all of our parents bought
Yeah.
like when it was
Yeah.
20, 30, 40
Coming
grand.
up.
Yeah,
like coming up, no one really wanted to live out here.
And a lot of people have stories like, oh, I came from the hood and I made it out. So
Yeah, I don't have that story.
And he doesn't have that story, but
My dad came from the hood.
KPT.
Yup.
Both our dads. We might have been there. Our dads might have been neighbors. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's like one step removed, and our parents did the hard work to get us to Hawaii Kai when it was not that great. But then they made a good gamble because Hawaii Kai became Hawaii Kai.
Yes.
And next
for
thing you know,
sure.
we both went to Punahou. He went the whole
You
way
went to Punahou? I didn't know this.
for a little while. I chose to leave after I was asked to leave.
You're like, that's a good idea.
Me and Obama, we went same school, but I just never went finish. So
Went to Cocoa Head Elementary, so public school from K to 6. Just riding bikes. In fact, all this area, like, this used to be called Kuapakai Shopping Center. Everything else is just all like trees.
Yes.
So we used to come
Yeah.
over here, ride bikes in the dirt, like jump hills, like where Costco is, all just like hills and trees.
mongoose bike. What kind? Yeah, BMX.
I had a Schwinn.
Okay, Schwinn. I had Schwinn too.
And then I think I got my brother's hand-me-down mongoose.
Ooh,
Hand-me-down
okay, that's
mongoose,
flex. That's
bro.
flexing.
Well,
That's
you know,
flexing.
You know, I mean, it
Yeah.
was like by that time it was probably like 7 years old.
Yeah,
but like that was my jam because it's like the moment you get the bike, freedom. Go
Right.
anywhere you want.
Yeah.
Safe neighborhood, and just explore. And like
Yeah.
all our parents worked, you know, full on 9 to 5. Didn't get home till 6-ish. Make dinner, so we never really saw them that
Right.
much, you
Right,
know, because
right,
they were
right.
working out there.
Totally.
We were back here after school, you know, cruising the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Be home by dark, and then have that dinner time, that 1 or 2 hours, do your homework.
Right.
Rinse and repeat. So we call us, you know, we're the latchkey generation,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Gen X.
Right. Now, but when you were a kid, were you already thinking like, when I grow up, I want to be something artistic, or I'm gonna be like, get the 9 to 5, the salary? Like, what were you thinking in your head?
Yeah, when I was growing up, it was like, get the good job,
Okay.
make the money.
Okay.
I like growing up. If you'd ask me, when I grow up, I want to be a doctor. That's
mean,
all
just-
you knew. You
yeah.
just knew like
Yeah,
either
yeah.
doctor or
Yeah.
something else, right?
Engineer,
Or,
accountant.
teacher.
Yeah.
You don't know like that. There's a whole gajillion kinds of ways to like
Yeah.
make a living.
Right.
I didn't even know what an engineer was.
Yeah.
So
You know what? 5 seconds. I still don't know what an engineer is. Can we
Yeah, yeah,
explain
yeah,
for
yeah.
everybody like
I
the
don't know what
difference?
nuclear does. That sounds hard. That's harder.
That sounds very hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it seems like so just the word engineer. So
What does that mean? I don't even
Yeah,
know.
it's like you're just solving problems. So how about this? You got scientists
Yeah.
who are like discovering the way that the universe works, the way that like laws of
Right.
physics and chemistry and biology work.
right.
Engineers take those discoveries and put them into practical uses and applications for the real world.
I like that definition. Yeah, you should be bringing stuff to life, right? Like bringing things
So
to reality.
specifically, what is a nuclear engineer?
So a nuclear engineer takes the discoveries of physicists
Okay.
and especially like particle physics.
Right.
And we're like, okay, how do we take that and make energy from the physics stuff, like say nuclear engineering, nuclear energy, either
Right.
fission or fusion. There's also bomb making, which is
Right.
We know that
another
one.
Right.
application of the
Right.
physics. There's also like magnetic resonance imaging, MRIs. There's also like the whole
There's-
radiation technology.
Medical.
There's fueling AI, which I just sent you the article this morning.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
Google just signed some huge deal with some nuclear fusion
Really?
energy because it's going to be the
Wow.
future because
Commonwealth.
AI takes so much dang
Yes,
energy.
yeah.
Right.
Well, I didn't know nuclear.
So
that's
that's
quite a
all I studied for those years at nuclear engineering MIT is energy making, bomb making,
Yeah.
and radiation
And
technology.
and that person who studied that, I want you to picture a very different person.
bit. Yeah.
Short hair, suit, tie. We're talking, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but aloha shirt underneath the suit
Okay, yeah.
kind. You know what I'm
There you
saying?
go.
Yeah.
Forget the tie, just aloha shirt.
Yes. It was always about to, he was like that was his caterpillar days.
Okay, but you're like mixed in race though.
I am
You're
mixed
what?
race.
Hawaiian,
Yeah.
Chinese, and
Hawaiian Chinese, there's rumors of Caucasian.
oh,
Well, wait,
But-
didn't you do that? You did the 23 minutes.
I did 23, I did Ancestry,
Okay.
and know how they showed up.
Yeah.
So,
Oh.
yeah.
so
I
it's
was- I
just
would've
Hawaiian
bet.
and Chinese.
It's just Hawaiian Chinese.
So, and
As
would
far
you
as that-
say you relate? You would say growing up with your Asian side of life.
Both.
Both.
Yeah.
So both.
Both, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
What are you? Are you mixed?
Well, I'm just Japanese Chinese right down the middle.
Okay, got it.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yours all Asian.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Mine's all Asian too.
Yeah.
Mine's only Japanese.
Yeah, but I counts as mix, yeah? Japanese Chinese. That's like cheat.
Yeah.
That's like cheat hoppa. that's generic.
not hoppa.
Generic brand hoppa.
Not Papa.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
That's
That
Western
doesn't count.
family tradition.
No.
That's like Dijon and French's mustard together. Hoppa. It counts, huh? But yeah, I mean, you know, he's basically. I always say, I said this before. He's like the most right-left brain mix. As when it comes to, we're talking about mixes, the right-left brain
Is amazing.
We gotta study, yeah.
Yeah.
Study what's in there.
Yeah.
And have them dance versus be battling each other. Right?
Yeah.
So it's like.
I think more of us are made to have both, but I think in school, I
Right.
think we're taught to say like, what are you good at? And then you categorize, and then somehow in a test, you're like shown to be better at one or the other. And then so we start to be told like, you're good at this. And
Right.
then, I don't know, I listen. So then I'm
Right,
like,
right.
I'm good at this. And then you keep trekking down that path, and versus like, you're like not so good at this. You like had an 800 SAT score. So I read that stuff, right? Wasn't it?
You must have talked to my-
SAT math?
She did
You
that.
talked to my
Hey.
parents
Right?
about that.
Isn't that
Hey, that-
true? That's
my
a perfect
my
score.
verbal was like
Yeah.
550 or something.
Oh,
it was
I
like
see.
it was.
But the
nuts.
math was through the.
Yeah,
Yeah,
math
yeah.
was through the roof, but the
So I
verbals-
mean, that is like that's perfection in math. And then so going through high school, where you just like, okay, I know where I'm headed. I'm gonna head into this, you know,
Yep.
very technical field, and like at that point in time, and obviously you're accomplishing. Like to be at 800, you're not a slacker. Going through school, get to MIT. Talk to us about even that journey.
Yeah, I was hardcore math and science. Like
Yeah.
for me, okay, So I thought art and all that stuff was fluffy.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
and brought nothing to the world.
Yeah.
Right.
And that if you had asked me
Right.
in high school,
Right.
like what is the thing that is of value? It's like math, science, engineering.
Yes.
Right.
And I think we were taught that. Do you not think?
I don't know.
Well, I think
mean,
Asians specifically.
We're taught
Right? Our immigrant parents are like, think it's so silly. You're gonna go like make
You wanna
jokes?
dance?
Yeah. What you
You
gonna
wanna-
do?
you wanna do
you make a
art?
joke? You make a joke for a living? I'll pay you make a joke? Stop it. Go be a lawyer. Go be like they make fun of us.
Because
Yeah.
I think it's like the arts,
Yeah.
you're not going to have a
Yeah.
job. It's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
sure thing that like if you
Yeah.
go into math and sciences, that
Right.
you will land with a good
And
job.
it
You
comes
can
from a
be a
good place.
doctor, you
It-
can
yeah.
be an engineer.
They don't want us to
good
struggle.
jobs.
Right.
That's right. So I
Right.
think it comes from like a place of knowing that that's like the sure thing,
Right.
right? So I think, right, I mean, even I headed in that direction.
I loved math and
Right.
science at that point,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm all about it. In fact, I learned about fusion energy in high school. I'm like, oh, I want to study this for the rest of my life. I want to like
Right.
bring fusion energy to the world. I want to solve the world's energy crisis.
Wow.
Right.
Because global climate change was a thing back in those days,
Yeah.
in the
Right, right.
90s.
Right.
And fusion energy was on the map as like a potential solution to our energy problems.
Okay.
And I was like, let's effing go. This is what
Love
this
it.
is. I'm all about it, right? So I'm
Right,
like, okay,
right.
what's the best engineering school? What's the best science school that I can go to? MIT.
Well,
Jeez.
Let's go. Let's do everything I can to get in. I freaking joined the math team just
Wow.
so I could get it on the resume, so I could like
wow.
put it on there and apply.
Wow.
And-
Asian moment of silence.
Bro,
You joined the
just for the looks of it.
dude.
And but I kicked ass. I freaking joined them to kick
Jeez.
ass. You know what I'm saying?
That's amazing. Like I think Asian ancestors are single tier, like everywhere. It's like that's why we come from the motherland. This is the reason why. I mean, I feel so inferior just listening to this. My dead parents are rolling over in the grave. Why can't you be more like Kealoha? I can hear it.
Why didn't you join the
yeah.
math team?
Of course, totally.
Man. Okay, so yeah, so
Dreams all come true. You go to MIT.
yeah, okay, yeah, dreams at that moment come
that
true.
moment.
Yes.
right.
Okay, then.
And then I go there and it's like the coldest place in weather and in people that I'd ever faced. And so there was that like geographical shock, but also
Yes.
cultural shock that like I came back a humbled wreck of a mess of a kid because I got like I just got exposed to a different way of being that was harsher than the benevolent,
Yeah.
But
Postcard.
amazing place that
Yeah.
I grew up in, right? But then I started to realize like, oh, the world's not ready for fusion energy right now in the 90s.
Right.
Because I mean, I'm looking at like this one major project that we're all talking about back then. It's called ITER, International Thermonuclear Experimental Reactors. It's to demonstrate the next generation of fusion energy reactors, right? It's
Right.
gonna like revolutionize the world, prove that we can do this thing. It's gonna cost $10 billion. We're like, okay, where's the money gonna come from?
Which is cheaper than the rail.
$10 billion. Japan's like, okay, we're gonna throw in $2.5 billion.
Wow.
Frickin', what is like France or the European Union? They're like, we're gonna throw in $2.5 billion.
Wow.
Everybody's like, okay, US, what do you got? US is like, our budget says we can put in 500 million.
Oh gosh.
And then the USSR, Russia, they're like, oh, if they're gonna do 500, we're just gonna do 500 million too.
See, America was like the kid who brings napkins to the potluck.
Bruh,
Like,
bruh,
we don't,
bruh.
we don't need that. Come
We
on.
don't need
Come
napkins.
on. With your stupid paper plates. Come on. Come on. Bring some food.
Bring some
Bring
real
some
stuff,
food.
bruh.
Come on, America.
So then the project dies in the 90s because
Wow.
there's not enough funding because of political reasons. We're not like, keep in mind,
Right.
we live in a fossil fuel
Yes.
world.
Cool.
We were on the cusp in the
Yeah.
90s of like actually doing some real stuff because fusion energy has been around since like the 40s or the 50s.
Wow.
And so it's like it's all about just taking those next steps, and it just.
But
we just-
basically, what is it? Because we're scared of Chernobyl. Is that what it is? We're scared.
the U.S. has baggage when it comes to nuclear anything, because we did drop bombs. And most people don't even know the difference between fission and fusion.
Right.
Two completely different technologies and physics.
Right.
But they lump it all together because it's all nuclear,
Right.
and we should be afraid of nuclear.
Right.
And that's part of the issue. Whereas you go to like, Europe, you go to frickin' Japan, you go to anywhere else in this world,
Right.
and nuclear is not like that much of a taboo.
Right,
Like,
right,
so
right.
that, I think that like that's part of it.
Yeah.
But I think the big part is fossil fuel industry. Like
Right.
we are run by
Yeah.
the Exxons and the Mobil and
Right.
like all those like
Right.
ExxonMobil. We're run by those companies because they own politicians, they lobby, they make sure that the U.S. is completely
Right.
addicted to fossil fuels.
Right. Basically, you're super passionate about that, and you're gonna change the world through nuclear fusion.
Yes.
And then cut to
Cut
long
to-
hair, shark tooth, and poetry.
Cut to I see professors getting laid off. They can't get
Okay.
tenure. Like my
Oh, okay.
professors were like
Right.
the most brilliant minds
Yeah.
in fusion energy,
Ah.
getting laid off.
Yeah.
Not enough funding, not enough like
Right.
money to continue this program.
It's
and I'm
almost like nuclear fusion became art. the fluffy pie in the sky, not that
The
realistic.
secure job.
The thing you went for security was now drying up. It's looking like
Totally.
art history major.
Totally, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ironic. How ironic. Wow.
And so I was like, okay, I gotta pivot.
Yeah.
Let's go into something that's different, that maybe like teaches me the skills so that when the world's ready for this fusion, I'm still stuck on fusion. I'm like,
Yeah.
let's do something that's different that like
Right.
that I can contribute to this world. I realized through internships and stuff, it's like I don't want to be in a laboratory anymore.
All day.
Right.
Like I don't want to work on Excel spreadsheets and like
Right.
plot graphs and like
Okay, now.
I think I can do something different.
Yeah. Asian ancestors, close your ears for that. We love ourselves
They
some
were,
Excel sheets. Yeah.
they were shedding one tear, now they're crying like
You're kind of confused, yeah. Oh, man.
So then I was like, okay, what can I do that's not engineering that that is still kind of safe?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So at that time, there's these consulting companies who are hiring. They're like recruiting at MIT. They're these business consultants who they just want problem solvers. They don't care that you've been trained or not trained in business.
Right.
They would just come to our school with frickin' brain teasers, and they would ask us during our interviews to like solve this brain teaser in front of my face,
Oh,
so I can
wow.
see how you think.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
And if I see that you can think, I'm gonna offer
You're
you a
hired.
job so that you can come to our company and help these corporations solve their problems.
Oh,
That
wow.
makes sense
Well,
because
totally.
I would say that's the one skill. Like if I think back to college and all the things you remember or don't remember, the one thing I did learn was how to think.
Yes.
Was
Yes.
like just bottom line. If you like, how do you do this chemistry thing?
Yeah,
I couldn't tell you exactly that anymore. Or how do you do this physics problem?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know that. But you know how to think and narrow down like, okay, I don't know how to solve it, but I know this much. So let's start with
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay, what is the next thing I could know?
Right.
What is the next thing I could know? Maybe I can ask Ryan one more thing and add
Yeah.
one more thing, but it's like you learn how to think. And
Yeah.
I think that's like one of the greatest skills I learned out of college.
So there was a crossroads, right? Because
Right.
I was also interviewing with a nuclear reactor place in New Orleans.
Okay.
And so I could have gone and been a manager at a nuclear power plant,
Wow.
or I could have gone to consulting. And I got offered both jobs, and I was like, okay, parents,
Yeah.
Asian Hawaiian parents, I kind of want to do this. I kind
Yeah.
of want to go consulting because they're gonna fly me out to San Francisco. They're gonna pay me a chunk of money to learn about business, which I know nothing about, and I want to learn more.
Right,
It's
right,
kind of like
Yep.
it's kind of like grad school for business, but with
On
a
the job.
paycheck. With a
On the-
paycheck.
yeah.
You're
Yeah.
getting paid to learn.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, is it cool if I go that way? They're like, we don't care what you do, just
Yeah.
Get a
just
job.
do your
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Get a job.
Support yourself
Yeah.
and be happy.
Yeah.
And
Which is a pretty progressive Asian parent stance.
super progressive
Like-
because they're like third generation
Walter and
on the
Wanda.
Chinese side.
What's up, bruh? Killer.
Walter and
you
Wanda.
set them up.
Yep.
MIT nuclear engineer going into business consulting to the Bay Area, and he comes out picking up slam poetry.
Yes.
They're
And
like, we should have told him take the nuclear job.
they had no
Should
idea.
have told him.
But at
Should
the
have
same,
swerved left.
Dang it.
Should have swerved left.
but
brah.
but at the same time, not really, because we're
Yeah,
not,
yeah,
not
exactly.
really, yeah.
So yeah, now I'm in California. I'm in San Francisco. I'm in this amazing city, doing this consulting job, wearing suits and ties, in a cubicle, Excel spreadsheets, and PowerPoint presentations. The
Yeah.
very thing that I was trying to run
Not
away
you.
from.
You're doing it.
I'm doing
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
but in a business sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, how long can I survive in this freaking job? I made it 2 years. Check this out. My department started as 200 people in the SF Department of Strategy, whatever. I saw us get cut down. So this is 99
no.
to 2001. This is .com bubble boom.
Oh yeah.
So when I got there, it was all like .com release parties, extravagance, booyah. And then like during my 2 years, our department went from 200 down to 100, down to 50,
What?
down to
Wow.
20, down to 14, down to 10, down to 7, down to 4.
my
Wow.
2 years later, I'm one of 4 people
My
left
gosh.
in my branch. This is a global company that was an offshoot of McKinsey, to be called Mitchell Madison Group. But I saw us go all the way down to that, and at 4 people left, 9/11 happens.
Oh my
so
gosh.
so planes going into buildings
Right.
in New York. I had just come back from Burning Man, so this 7-day experience of art and like creativity in the middle of a desert. I'd just done that. 9/11 happens, and then my next consultancy gig is to get shipped out to New York, New Jersey, New York, to go consult for Samsung to help them with their website presence. I go up there. I'm like walking the streets of New York, and I'm like, what the F am I doing with my life? Like, I need to like there's more to it than what I'm doing.
Right.
So at the end of the gig, at the end of the job, I give my laptop to my manager. I'm like, hey, I'm going to Europe to go visit my friend, Maddie P. I'm gonna go hang out up there and figure out life. I might not come back for this laptop. Take it back to San Francisco, and like,
Wow.
I might not come back. And my manager's like, hey, we're doing another round of layoffs. Do you want to get laid off in this round? I'm like, yes.
Well, because now you have at least severance.
Severance.
Yeah.
So a little bit of like cushion to like
Right.
come home and figure out what the F. And okay, at that point, so I neglected to say that when I'm in San Francisco, doing all this work on computers, one day, like maybe a year after being there, I was like, I'm living in this awesome city. I don't know anything about it. So let me go to an event in the city. So I got one of those, like I think it was The Guardian or SF Weekly. I opened up the middle,
Yeah.
and it was like the hot picks, right? The events of the week.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, there's a poetry slam going on like right near where I live. I used to like poetry.
Right.
So let me go check it out. So I walked like a couple of blocks away.
But you haven't heard about slam poetry yet.
I had never heard about. I was like, slam poetry.
Like, what is that? Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let's check it out. So I went, sat in that audience, the lights go down, and I got exposed to like the best slam poets, performance poets of the Bay Area, just like throwing down like hard. And like I'm living this lie during the day, and then that night I got like shown the truth, like through arts and poetry, and like seriously, I'm sitting in the audience and like the back of my spine starts to tingle, and I can feel my back and my head getting all warm, and I have this moment of euphoria where I'm like, oh, this art form, like this is everything to me. Like where has this been all my life? Number one. Number two, I gotta do it. I wanted to hear more, And very next day, like the very same night, I went home and I started writing. And then the next day when I'm in my cubicle, instead of like working on Excel spreadsheets, I'm actually like typing out poems. And so it's like, and then the next night I'm going to poetry slams. And then the next day I'm like typing out more poems. It's like
Basically, you were starving for that kind of stuff.
I was starving,
and it would
bro.
just
Like,
it hit you at a.
Yup.
Yeah.
Yup. And when it hit me, I was like, let's effing go.
Yeah.
Like this is
This
everything.
Ritz.
This is
This is a Ritz, huh? This ain't no regular soda cracker. That's a Ritz.
No, the crack is good.
Damn, what was that? This ain't regular poetry. Is it slam? You say slam? It hits you right there. Yeah,
For real.
Yeah.
So I spent the whole like next year just going to every poetry slam that I could. I'm going to poetry readings,
Right.
seeing like Maya Angelou,
Right.
seeing like all the different poets that would come into the city because that city
Yeah.
just draws people in. So
But Maya, she don't slam, man. She just does regular.
she don't, but she's down.
She's okay.
And she was like hanging out, like she was sharing stages with
Yeah.
slam poets who I respected. So I got to see, like, so they brought me to her,
Right,
kind of
right.
a thing, you
Right,
know.
right.
And like, and she was like, I remember one time, like, you know, she was in the middle of like this slam
Yeah.
when she said the future is in good hands, you know.
nice.
And so it's
Yeah.
like, I was just like, oh, yes. So I was
right.
like, okay, come home, freaking surf.
Right.
And my brother, like, he had an apartment, he was working. He's like, bruh, crash on my couch.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And then whenever he had guests over, company,
Yeah.
then I would like go into my car and go drive to a beach and sleep in my car.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
you know, like, bruh,
Yeah.
have your
Sock on the
space.
door. Sock on the door.
Sock on the door kinds. So it was this way of life that was like very minimal, so I could make that money stretch. And in the meantime, just write poetry, surf, hike.
Yeah.
That's when I connected with you,
Yeah.
reconnected with you.
Yeah.
Our story goes back even further
Yeah.
if we want to dig into that. But that's when I was like he called me, he was like, bruh, I hear you're all about the arts now and like about, you know, like exploring like intellectual stuff. Let's get together, let's hang out. So we did. And then it was just immediate, like, let's effing go, bro. Let's create stuff. Let's write. We started a band.
We opened up for Shaggy.
We opened up for Shaggy at the water park.
Something about on the bathroom floor. Anyway. But yeah, we opened up for him, and then my amp blew up, bro, in the middle of our performance. But that's neither here nor there. It's on our resume. Opened up for Shaggy.
Opened up for
There
Shaggy.
you go. Wait, so you guys know each other from before that, though?
Yeah.
So I didn't know MIT. I didn't know nothing. I just know like who's this long-haired kid who does like hula and has the best. He's just like super energetic, is super outgoing. I had no idea there was like, you know, MIT nuclear energy back there. I just thought like, you know, so I already thought artsy from the beginning.
Got it.
I didn't know this had this
The
whole. It was
background.
coming. Yeah. I remember the very first time we were like at a party and people were freestyling in a circle. You know, Hisham's party.
Hisham's.
And he was an artist student, so it was a loft in Chinatown. So all the different artists were there, and like the DJ's playing, and then a circle starts developing. And instead of a dance floor, it's like a freestyle cipher.
Yeah, it's like this
So,
small
yeah.
little offside room.
So and this used to happen all the time at these parties, right? And then you just start freestyling, then 4 or 5 people go around, and then pretty soon, you know, people just go in and like the freestyle start. You know, every once in a while, a poem would come in instead of just a freestyle. Someone would do it written. So we're like, oh, what's happening here, you know? So then Kealoha was like, you know, he had a piece. He was like, I'm gonna go in this way. Should I go? Yeah. And we're go. He's like, okay, no, after this guy. I remember being on the side of the circle.
It's like, oh, should I jump in?
Oh my God,
And
yeah.
then you're getting like stoked to do it, and then someone else jumps in. You're like,
yeah.
okay, no. They're still double
But I
dutching.
remember the first one, and he goes in, and it was like, you know, it's a Friday night, we're all dancing, having drinks, and he drops his heavy piece about family and your brother. It was like so beautiful, but it shocked us. We're all just like cosmopolitans. Call my brother. Like he had this moment, and then we're all silent. And he's just like, drop the family, Ohana, my brother, blah 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 blah. Oh, and then it was like, he walked off, and we're like, dude, that was like, it's kind of sweet. It's kind of deep. Yeah.
Then did you even think like, I feel like during this year as you're telling me all this, like here you had, right, like all these jobs and you still could go for it. You know that. You have the potential to keep going, but then you're stepping away. So now you're sleeping on your brother's couch, right? From like apartments and flying to New York and laptop and whatever.
Fancy
like,
hotels, all that, all that
right,
stuff.
right. So like that's the 20-year-old trajectory, right? And then now you don't have a job. You're living on what you remained, and you're on your brother's couch, maybe sometimes in a car.
And I'm so happy.
That's so crazy.
I'm
You
so
didn't
happy.
during that time frame. You didn't feel like, what the heck am I doing?
There were moments where I would get together with a friend and be like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What's our next step?
Because I feel like that, right? Because you're like, hey, obviously I can't keep doing the couch thing, and it's gonna run out, even if you're.
It's gonna run out. But then like some other gigs would come my way. So like I got hired by another mutual friend, Kyle Kakuno, who you introduced me to.
Right.
He was doing this thing called Traveling Storytellers, where like, a small group of us, either 2, 3, or 4, would go from school to school and tell them, like, reenact these plays that were written by Kyle and by you.
Yeah.
And sing and dance and do these plays that made them think and laugh and learn. My favorite one was Inventors and Their Inventions, which we went through like all these different inventions, from like the ice cream cone to the zipper.
Potato chips.
Wow.
Potato chip,
I still
toilet
remember.
bowl.
Yeah.
And
Thomas Crapper was his name.
True. I remember all these facts.
so our whole thing was like,
So you're going into elementary schools.
we're
and
going to
teaching
elementary
this.
schools and we're acting. I'm learning how to act.
Yeah, it wasn't much, but
But we're making $35 bucks a show, $40, whatever the rate was.
So, but for that little time, an hour of
You're
work,
like-
and you're like, hey, we made all.
Yeah,
It's pretty
after an
good.
hour you make $70.
Yeah, okay.
And you get the rest of the day to surf.
Yeah. Right.
So like at that time I was like, bruh,
70's more than you
Good
can
enough.
spend in a day.
Right.
Yeah.
good enough
Yeah,
for sustaining this lifestyle even
now.
longer.
Yeah.
So I can
Okay.
write even more. So I can go to more open mics. So
Right.
I can live this artistic lifestyle and just stretch it.
How is your parents?
So my parents were all like, through this whole thing, were super cool. Like they were like, as long as you can sustain your lifestyle, support yourself, and you're making a contribution to community, and you're happy,
Yeah.
Wow.
do what you do.
Yeah.
And so they would actually, their friends would clown on them. Their Asian friends would clown on them and be like, oh, what, you guys paid all that money for MIT
Right.
and now your kids.
Right.
Oh yeah, totally.
On the
Doing
couch
what?
and
Yeah.
doing plays.
And they were like, yeah, but look at how he's benefiting the community, and look how happy he is.
I always think it's cool how you have experience like San Francisco, so you kind of saw it on a stage with like these levels that you're like, there's a way that this can be brought here.
Yeah, and my favorite show to go to in San Francisco was Second Sundays.
So
Which-
perfect.
Which was a poetry slam run by Bamuti in the Bay Area, San Francisco.
Right.
And so when it came time to start my own event, I was like, first Thursdays.
Yeah.
Let's do it on the first Thursday of every month. Make it a thing where people know, like, poets, you got a home to come and like do your thing.
Right.
Every month. I would go to these parties and like within like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, everybody would have a flyer. It was like I freaking like blazed the Z, as like a Zorro Z on the thing, and like everybody had the flyer all of a sudden, right?
that seems so old that you're saying this. You passed out papers.
I was passing out the
To
flyers
humans?
to humans
In
and
one
being
by
like,
one?
and be like, hey, come to this event. If you come, I'll get you on the guest list or whatever. You know, like,
Wow. A free event though.
this was $3
Person?
before the event starts, $5 after the event starts.
Right.
And that was to cover
To cover the costs.
of like, cause how did you get a place?
All that. There was the place, we would pay the poet who won, pay the door person, pay the security, all the things, right?
Wow.
You had to pay that. But I was like, how little can I charge to make sure that the costs are covered
Yes.
so that we can continue this event like indefinitely?
Yeah.
So it's $3.
Yeah.
Wow.
$3 if you showed up on time. $5 if you were late.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And artists, We
Late.
collected a lot of $5. So
That's why you did 3 so that you make sure some show up.
It's
Right?
the blockbusters model. Right?
Yeah.
We base it all on human nature. You're gonna be late, is we're gonna pay us. That's what. That's it.
Yeah, that was, I mean, those were the beginnings, right? That was like the process of trying to figure out, okay, first you got to build a home
Yes.
that poets can come, myself included, where we can work on our craft, we can get better, where we can listen to each other and then like, and just sharpen the tools, right?
And-
Because we all sucked.
And
at that
here's
time.
an unspoken angle. Back then, it was all nightclubs and bars if you want to meet people. This was the one refreshing place where if you go to meet someone there, they might be literate.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, you're gonna get like girls who think maybe,
Maybe,
right? But you go maybe you go to a club or bar, it's like, what we dealing with here? I can't even read your misspelled tattoo. I can't nighttime, right? But first Thursday is like, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
get chance,
you're getting into like these deep
So
conversations.
also then it's a lot of young 20s.
Yeah.
Like, you still
Yeah,
have
yeah.
20s. Got it.
Okay, so not only you had the 20s and 30s, but you also, we were all ages too, yeah? So you would have like the younger kids.
Mm-hmm.
You had your 20s, 30s, 40s. You also had the kupuna showing up.
Wow.
So you had elders coming in, 60s, 70s,
Wow.
doing their poetry. So you had like this multi-generational event where people are sharing their thoughts and ideas from all those different age groups, and we're listening to each other, and we're all like getting better together. And that was the magic.
Yeah.
I always said if you could throw it, if you were at a multi-generational event, that was like, that was the stuff.
That
of
you know
culture.
you've done it, and it's going to sustain because it's touched. It's not just a narrow, group that you've touched and can outgrow it.
Yep.
Well,
But
then it's
now
like-
you've got a big band.
And it started to gain like, basically respect in the community, right? And
Yes.
then next thing you know, it's like,
That's
it's,
true.
it's on the news.
Yep.
And now he's sending a team every year to the mainland to compete in the mainland.
Yep.
You
We're
know, so-
hanging out with the
right.
Bamboo Ridge folks.
Right, right.
We're like kind of like
Right.
we're being
Right.
respected
And
in
then-
a way that Abercrombie.
Abercrombie and Fitch, not Fitch.
The governor.
But the governor at the time gave him the Hawaii State Poet Laureate like title, which never even existed before. So
Wow.
it's like, that's a big moment for slam poetry, for Kealoha. And next thing you know, you start working with Henry Kapono 20 years ago on the Wild Hawaiian and stuff, which
Yeah.
is like, I mean, we grew up with C&K, everyone
Yeah.
knows.
Yeah.
This is like,
It was always the graduation and
it's-
prom song.
you know what I'm saying?
You
what
have
I'm
to
saying?
be. It's graduation and prom.
To go from
right?
sleeping on my brother's couch
Yeah,
to like,
To, like, the
touring with Henry
celebrities.
Kapono.
The
yes.
celebrities.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's literally
And the
Jeremy
governor.
Lin's story. You stole it from him. Sleeping on brother's couch, right?
yeah. He stole it from me.
Yeah. He's Harvard, you're MIT. Same story, same story.
Better school, but
Yeah. Yeah, man. So wow.
Oh man, yeah. So that was the
And then the film,
and then the film,
Story of Everything.
and then the film, the story of everything.
Storyofeverything.org.
I watched the
know.
previews on
Yeah, yeah.
that, and that's what kind of got me like, I was like, I don't even know how to wrap my head around like, okay, you took a passion, you stepped into that one, that's amazing in and of itself that people don't have the bravery to do that and kind of just say, I'm going to take a different way. But then looking at the production that you pulled together, I'm like, okay, there's a lot of components to this. Like you have to coordinate choreography, people, hire, organize, like
All the little experiences that we have along the way, we bring that all with us.
Yeah.
So that when we're faced with a new thing, we can harvest from each
Right.
experience and like use that for the future.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think that that's how we're all created to be, and I think we don't sit in that enough. I think all of us don't choose to sit in that and have enough confidence that that little skill that you had, although it's not maybe your A+ skill, it's still you're pretty dang good at it.
Right.
And let's use it all together to become one holistic thing. I think people who really live like lives that they feel that they're stepping into, like I don't know, like the satisfaction of their life. I think you see them live life holistically.
Yeah.
Right? Like where all of them, all the pieces of them pulls into living every day.
Yeah.
And versus like, I think some folks who are less satisfied or say like, oh, I don't like this, or, whatever, they're living in bins.
Yeah.
And the part that sparks is not integrated in the part that just has to. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Yeah,
Versus it's like a marriage of all these things.
it's basically the Japanese ikigai concept,
Yeah.
right?
What you
Yeah.
got? What you got?
Right. So ikigai is the four principles, right? It's like do something you love,
Yes.
do something you can get paid for, do something that the world needs, and then do something.
I thought it was 3.
I think it's 4, but I'm
Is
forgetting.
it 4?
Paid, something you paid, something you love, something the world needs, something you're good at.
Like, oh,
There you
okay.
go.
So it's all
There you go.
4. So the
And make it all the same thing.
all yeah, you got to combine them. You got to like if you start slacking on one, that's where
It falls apart.
Yeah, it falls apart, right? Because if you're just doing something that you think the world needs, but you suck at it, okay. If you do, right,
Yes.
you do the world needs, they're
but
good
you
at, but
hate
you don't
it.
get paid.
Yeah, yeah.
So
yeah.
all 4 legs at a stand, otherwise the table going to fall.
Yes.
Whoa!
All right.
The balance is not there.
We need a little bit more ikigai up in this piece.
It gets thrown off. Yeah,
That is
yeah,
so true, though. I love that.
yeah, yeah.
So now so talk about like all the different stages of life that this has taken you through, and like to the people, to the opportunities. Like, how does that just like blow your minds? Like, do you sit and do you like think like, holy moly, what am I doing here?
I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for the life path and like the opportunities given and like the people in my life who have helped me along the way and like the love and support and all the things. Like super grateful, and yeah, sometimes the mind gets blown. Like, wow, thank you. Like, thank you. And I know it's a combination of hard work,
Yes.
but also opportunity, luck mixed into the thing.
Yeah,
All the things combined. And then just having that community around that like had, we all had each other's backs. And we grew.
I think it's when people are passionate about what they do, like truly passionate about what they do.
Yeah.
Anyone wants to be a part of someone who's passionate about what they do.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
Totally.
That's contagious.
And if you're passionate about something, like you're willing to spend
That's
20 something hours a day working on it, like
Yes.
dreaming about it. You wake up and you're like, oh, I gotta write that, and it's like, that's when like this is the stuff that I'm on fire for.
It's so true.
So, okay, so if we want to back up the story of everything, right? So this became a huge like pivot point in my life because I'd always wanted to marry the poetry with the science and engineering background.
right.
I just didn't know how. But then like there was this moment where, okay, so my partner at the time, she came back, she took a pregnancy test. She was like, I'm pregnant. And I was like, oh, okay. Wow.
New plans.
That's gonna change a lot.
Yeah.
And she's like, do you need time to think about this? I was like, yeah, that would be awesome. Can you give me like a day to just like wrap my head around what this means? She's like, okay. So she went to the North Shore and left me at home to just be in my thoughts. And I was like, okay. So I turned on some music, put on Michael Jackson's Off the Wall, and I started to write. And during that writing session, just all these like insecurities came up, like, oh, what's it gonna be like to provide for someone? Like, am I gonna be able to do this? Do I know how to change a diaper? And then there's this one reoccurring question was like, well, one day this child's gonna ask you where we come from and what are you gonna tell it? And it just kept coming back up over and over again. So finally, I was like, in my writing, I was like, well, here's what I'm gonna tell my child when they ask me where we come from. And so I started with the Big Bang, and I started to write down to my future child all the things that were happening in Big Bang. And that came out as a story, matter versus antimatter, like all the stuff happening like inside of the Big Bang in that very first like micro millisecond of time.
Right.
And then like that story it was like this war story with like heroes and villains, and there was love and there was family and there was babies and there was like all this kind of stuff, right? And by the time I was done with that, I was like, oh, that's a thing. That's something.
Right.
I'm onto something.
Right.
So I was like, okay, what comes next? Oh, the stars, like all the nucleosynthesis, the creation of the periodic table has to happen in the stars. So I started to write like what that might have been like within each star. And I had this idea like, oh, maybe each star was like a discotheque in Manhattan, and like we go in there and
Helium's
like, there's
hanging out, hydrogen.
Yeah, where everybody's
Right,
dancing
right.
in different like configurations of
Yeah,
protons. and, like-
nitrogen's got moves, but they're shy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, you go first, helium. You go first, man.
So okay, so each like iteration of like
Yeah.
how we became human had its own story. So from the Big Bang to the stars to our solar system, the Earth, the Sun, the Moon, that became like this local like 80s growing up in Hawaii local story, like a triangle love story between the Sun, the Earth, and the Moon. That's where the pigeon part comes in. And then Earth gets pregnant. She don't know who the baby daddy is. It could be the Sun, it could be the Moon, who knows. But she gets pregnant. She finally gives birth to bacteria. And that thing replicates and evolves from bacteria throughout all the different life forms, and the kumulipo is being chanted. And finally humans appear. And then the humans in Africa, they migrate from Africa throughout the rest of the world. And then that's its own, like all of these are their own stories. And then I was like, okay, well, what next? Oh, the future. What's the biggest thing that we need to solve scientifically for the future? Global climate change. So it all comes full circle. All the training that I had like growing up, all the engineering, the science, it all got thrown into this piece, and it went full circle to the thing that got me into science in the first place, which is global climate change. And nuclear fusion. And then so after that whole thing was written, after that one session, I go downstairs and Ryan and my brother are sitting at the bottom of the stairs, and I go, guys, I think I just wrote something. And they're like, okay, tell us about it. And I was like, okay, so Big Bang, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, by the time I got done telling them, I'm reading these pages to them, they're like, oh, that might be something. You should work on that.
And I remember just coming back from London and seeing the complete works of Shakespeare in 90 minutes. And it was like comedy, but it was a similar thing. We're trying to shove all the works of Shakespeare in 90 minutes. So I was telling him about that. I was like, I think you could do a similar thing where it's like, I know it's a lot, but if you shove it in and there's a little bit of comedy where like we're moving from this to, they're like millions of years, but you're still going, okay, and then this happened, and then this happened, and, and it's like, that's kind of what it is. You're telling 13.8 billion years in like 90 minutes, right? So I was like, I remember thinking like, oh, I think this can work. This can work, as opposed to like, that's too much, right? I think telling the story of everything that's ever happened is a bit much for a story. but then I was like, no, wait a minute, okay. And then boom, then dance, boom, molecules, okay, this is, and you can get it to move, and it's pretty like, wow.
So had you ever done production prior to that?
Small kind of production through the shows that I was throwing and all that kind of stuff. But like when it came to like bringing in dancers and artists and musicians to all like collaborate, costume,
lighting,
the whole thing,
everything.
right? Lighting.
All
of that was like kind of new, but I had seen the experts do it and had been part of their productions. So like Henry Capono is a perfect example that I draw from all the time. In doing his shows with him, I saw him delegate and like trust his people. He would bring us like on and say like, hey, I trust you to create this thing and it's gonna be top notch, go. And he would just let us go. We would come back and be like, hey Henry, this is what we got. And he'd be like, perfect. Boom, it's in. And so that's what it was. It was about finding my baddest ass friends who were musicians, dancers, visual artists, chanter. Come in and just be an expert at what you do. I trust you.
Wow.
And they did, and it
so
came
like
together.
how long do you like? Okay, so this living room. Is this still the day of the North Shore?
This is the
And you're in the living room the same day
rough
of the North
draft
Shore?
is the day of the North Shore. Okay. And so that
And
happens.
so like for the most part, it's there.
It's kind of there. There's the backbone of like what this is gonna be. Like it's written out in a very like rough form.
Okay. And then a little bit later, you're sharing
so the next day, right? They're like, so did you think about the baby? He's like, well, I have a poem.
That's
like, oh, right. One more day. I knew I had something. Yeah.
I'm thinking. I'm
Sorry.
like, so she comes back and she's.
She's like, so what did you think about everything we talked about? It's like, yes, you ready? Okay. 13 points.
There's gonna be a chance, and it's like, what is it? I'm like,
Time on it. Come on. Bring the ukulele. Come on, it's your turn. She's like, no, I meant, should we have this baby?
like, what's happening with the baby? Like,
He's like, no, wait. First, just stand there. You're Venus. Hold on. I'll get to that.
I'm like, what the heck? Like, she's like, did you forget the assignment?
I will say this: is that during the
forgot
wedding?
the assignment.
Hold on. During the
So
writing
what about the
session,
baby?
during the writing session, I had his ultrasound,
Yeah.
and I was looking at the ultrasound, and I could see, I could make out an imaginary face, and I fell in love with my child right there.
Right.
And I was like, yep,
Okay. Yeah.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's freaking go.
Yeah.
I love it.
And I'm indebted to him for the rest of my life.
I guess so, because
He inspired this whole
The whole
this
thing?
whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
yes. How long did it take to pull that into life? And what made you even think to take it for real?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
So Rough Draft is October 2011. I start talking to some people from the Native Arts and Cultures Foundation, and the CEO, she's like, and so they fund Native artists to do big projects. She's like, hey, and so they hired me to do one little project, which was to fly up to the White House and perform. And then after that, she's like, what else are you working on? And I was like, well, I have this idea to tell like the whole history of the universe through art and poetry and storytelling, all of the things. They're like, you need help funding that? I was like,
I think so.
yeah, please. That would be awesome. They're like, okay, here's money to help you hire out the artists, Solomon Enos, help you find the chanter, Kau'i Kanaka. Actually, they connected me with the chanter because Kau'i was also a Native Arts fellow.
Right.
So they connected me with her. She's from the Kanaka Ole family. She's an amazing Ole, like, master. And Kumuhula. I was able to get Taimane and the quadraphonics and Makana to come and do the music part of things. I was able to get my dancer friends, Jonathan Clark Seipert, Jamie Nakama, Jory Horn, a bunch of like folks to come and like work on that. What else? Graphic designer. All of the things just kind of came together, and all these people were friends, and we became this family that was just doing this art project that we were all passionate about, we were all stoked on, and then we finally did our first production in 2015. So from 2011 to being on stage in 2015.
So 4 years.
4 years
To pull it together.
To pull it together. 2015 final draft was like January, February. I performed it just off page in front of all these friends to be like, hey, do you want to come in and join this project? And they're like, yup, I'm in. And then from that point on, like I memorized a scene per month. And the way I memorize things, I memorize backwards. And then after memorizing it, so this hour-and-a-half production is in the head. Now it's like, okay, you got to figure out how to perform it. Wow. So now it's like, okay, bring all the skills that you've learned all your life. So that meant the hula,
Right.
that meant the break dancing, that meant the capoeira, that meant all the things, the storytelling, the acting, the poetry, the little bit of singing,
Love it. I love
the
it.
little falsetto action.
Why not? You threw it all in there.
Just throw it all in collaboration with the visual art projections, the
Right.
dancers, the
Right.
musicians,
Right.
the chanter, all of it. Like, and it happened, and it was okay. It was okay. In 2015, it went on stage. It was longer than I expected, but we got it on stage. Over those years, we got better and better at the production, and then Native Arts came back to us, and they were like, hey, there's this conference going on in California, the Pioneers Conference. Do you want to go and perform there, the whole production? I was like, yep. Bring the whole crew, cool. And then there was this other organization sitting in the audience that kind of was in collaboration with Native Arts. They helped to fund the whole thing too, to bring this up. They're called the Engaging the Senses Foundation, and they saw it, and one of their members is a director of film, a film director, and he was moved to tears when he saw the production, and afterwards he was like, hey, do you want to turn that into a film? And I was like, I would love to.
Yeah.
And the next thing you knew, like 6 months later, we're in Hollywood filming this thing on a sound stage where Oprah films her stuff. We're in a recording studio where like being recorded by this dude who recorded with Stevie Wonder and frickin' like all the legends of like the 70s and 80s. You know, where like this whole production goes up, lighting done by like folks who work with Imagine Dragons, graphics, animations done by folks who work with Marvel, and that was 2019. And then we did the whole post-production during the pandemic, 2020, 2021, finally released it 2022, did the whole film festival circuit 2023, 2024, and now we're gonna start figuring out, hopefully, distribution. You know, our live showings are done now. Now it's time for the digital as well as the educational.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh, now with AI, you're gonna have to do the Kealoha chatbot, the story of everything. You know what I mean? AI interactive app.
Yes.
You just talk to it, and Kealoha talks back to you in his Chat GPT voice, but he slams the facts in poetry. What about the baby? What I got is a poem instead. You make your tough life choices, just put it on the side. Make a poem instead.
you're changing diapers, we're changing the world.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's all coming, man.
It's all
I
coming.
love it. Like you're living the life you're meant to live, you know? And you just don't know what tomorrow holds.
And it's a vulnerable place to be
It
because
so
you're putting
is.
out your intentions and your dreams
Yes.
for everybody else to see and
you
pass
could
judgment on
suck.
you. And you could suck.
Yes.
And you could fail.
Yeah.
And then everybody's gonna laugh at you.
Yes.
And you're gonna be like, you know, just shriveled up in the corner.
Yeah.
Or you could just freaking do it.
Yes.
Yeah. And you know what's ironic? You know what's shriveled up in the corner? Balls, because that's what it takes. It takes balls, Jamie.
It does.
You know what I mean?
What would you say to someone just sitting there going like, is there something else?
Yeah, I mean, the question is, are you passionate about something else? And if so, then start doing it, baby steps, and then grow that as much as you can. Be passionate about it, like put all the time you've got into it, and then maybe if you're ready to take that leap, take the leap, take the risk. Maybe you fail, maybe you don't. You're never gonna know unless you try, and you already failed if you don't. So like, and these are all cliche, but like it's real
so true.
freaking advice.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you gotta try. You can't be afraid of the failure because, I mean, we're here for a limited amount of time, and you gotta make the best of it. Otherwise, you're gonna have regrets. And if you're on your deathbed having regrets, it's like, I don't want that for you. I want you to try. I want you to succeed or fail, but at least you went.
I think you learn by failure too, right?
Yep.
Like that's just the next step
Yep.
is learning by failure.
And trust, we've all failed.
Yeah.
We've all failed so many freaking times. Like, and it's okay because you pick yourself up, you learn. If you're attentive, if you pay attention,
That's right.
and if you can put your ego aside and just be like, okay, lesson learned, don't make the mistake again. Next time you're presented with that like challenge, like you know what to do.
Yep.
Boom.
Yep.
That's life.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So true. I love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, this has been awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's
We
go.
did it. I
Hawaii
want to be at your
card.
next event.
Yes.
Lokahi Backstage.